Hello everybody, Gisele Grenier here. In this video lesson, I'm going to create a small little piece of art with contrast. Now contrast, typically we think black and white. And with this one, I'm going to do blue and black, but we're not using pure black. You know that I don't like using black out of the tube. I like making my own black based on colors that I've made up in my palette. All right, so I'm going to quickly go over what I've got here on the table. But as always, I may choose to bring some stuff in or take some out, not use it all, and I'll call it out as I go. I've got the DecoArt product line, and I've got quinacridone magenta, phthalo green blue, quinacridone burnt orange, raw umber, ultramarine blue, and cobalt teal hue out of the media fluid acrylics. And I've got cerulean blue in the traditions. I also have the DecoArt media gesso, heavy gel medium, the matte medium, and I have some triple thick and some liquid glass. Not going to need all this for the project, but I just want to show you little pieces that I've already done for some different effects. And we're also, Allison sent me these little paper mache pieces. I've already painted them black because I was working on another project, and guess who jumped on the table, and then we're not going to go there anyway, so I'm going to redo that one. I've got a little ticket here. This is an old stash. I think I picked this up at a scrapbook store that closed a few years ago. I've got a stamp. I'm going to be using the trees. I have no idea who this is from. Looking at the style, it's probably a Tim Holtz thing. Also have some little letter things that I'm just going to show you. Probably won't use them. I've got some black soot distress ink. And I've got some paper. Oh, what else? I've got paper towel core. Oh, and stencil. So, not going to need this big stencil. The DecoArt Personally Yours stencils, these are layering stencils. I'm using these things here, which is this little doodad here. Okay, these are cool because you can actually stencil letters with patterns behind them, which is really neat. So I'm using these stars. Okay, do I have everything? Okay. That's first. The piece of cardstock I'm using, it's, I think this is 300-pound watercolor paper. And this was scrap left over from another project. And what I did is I took some dictionary paper and I used the matte medium and I glued the dictionary paper onto the watercolor stock. And then what I did is I took some gesso and applied a coat of gesso on it. I did this in a batch, a whole bunch of them. That way it just saves time. So that takes care of that. And I've done a gazillion videos of this. And I'll also have technique videos so you can refer to those. So what I want to do now is I want to paint this. I want to try to do a lot of the prep ahead of time. Then we can just assemble. So I'm just going to get a brush. Oh. And I'm going to the round brush. Oh, let me get those scissors out of the way. And on the palette, what I have here is I have the ultramarine blue. I have the cobalt teal hue, cerulean blue. Then I have equal parts of raw umber, quinacridone burnt orange, and then half a part of phthalo green blue. And then here I have phthalo green blue with a little bit more of the quinacridone magenta. Okay, so I'm just going to mix these up. And these are what makes the chromatic black. So this will be chromatic black. That's more on the green side. And this will be chromatic black more on the red side. And it didn't, yeah, so it went more blue instead of more green. All right. So I'm going to grab some water and let's paint this. So the card I'm going to be painting a wash of blue. So I'm going to get some water in here. And making sure that, I almost put that in my coffee. Making sure that I'm always adding water to it. It's going to be just a background, so we don't need to worry too much about evenness or anything like that. I'm going to take a little bit of the ultramarine blue, just a bit on the edges. And the water just keeps everything nice and washy. And I'm going to grab a little bit more of the the cerulean blue. And a bit more of the cobalt teal hue. And I want you to watch this. It's rubbing alcohol, and when you drop it, you get these blooms. The thing is, you can't dry these with a heat gun, otherwise you'll lose them. That's a little bit bigger than I was hoping they were going to be, but that's okay. That's okay. We'll let that dry. Okay, I'm going to put that over here. And I'm going to paint these now again because they're not quite. This was just the first layer. So I'm going to take the mixture, the chromatic black that I made with the raw umber, quinacridone, burnt orange, and the phthalo green blue. And it makes a nice brown. And for the tree, that's actually quite pretty. And I am really tempted, and thank you, Allison, for sending this. I'm really tempted to grab some yellow oxide to detail this. But is this supposed to be contrast? So chromatic black looks black as is, but when you look really, really close, it definitely has some color. Yes, I could have used burnt umber for this, but burnt umber would have been opaque. I didn't want it opaque. And this one here, that's that color. So these are colors that I would typically have to buy already pre-mixed. Don't have to if I know how to mix them myself. So I've got the color theory course and challenge going on in the Facebook group right now. It's a free course. Goes over the foundations of color mixing. So save you a ton of money because you need a very limited palette. And put you over there, Mr. Birdie. Okay, that takes care of that. Let me just... Here we go. Okay, rinse you. Clean my tweezers. And clean my palette paper. Well, some of you have been asking why I'm not using the no stick craft sheet anymore. It just got damaged and I haven't bothered to pick up another one. I picked up one, a copper one, but it makes the whole video yellow, so not doing that. Okay, this little ticket. I'm going to make the ticket the same color as the background because this is just basically, it's just to sit in the background. It's just to add a little bit of interest where the bird is, nothing else. Not even going to put alcohol on it. We'll just let that sit just the way that is. And where are we on this? It's a little, okay, now it's just wet on the outside. So I'm just going to get my heat gun and just carefully, and remember, this is alcohol. So if you overheat it, you run the risk of burning. So you do it at your own risk. All right, so I'm just going to take that now. I'm just going to take a dry paper towel, just blot up the excess. Now we're going to do another layer, but what I want to do is I want to put some matte medium on there to create a barrier coat. The barrier coats, they're really, really nice because you can wipe the whole piece if you happen to have made a mistake. It comes off really easy and it's going to protect everything. So because I put rubbing alcohol on the piece, that's left over. It does stay behind, so I didn't want that to affect the next layer of paint that I want to put on there. So this is going to take a couple minutes to dry. See? Still a little bit of blue there. So it does. It's still a little bit wet. That to dry. Close that. And the ticket. Oh, why did I put that away? Son of a gun. That's gesso. Oh. And we'll just put a coat on there. It also stiffens it up and just adds another layer of protection. Now I can put that away. You can go there, you can go there. All right, so we're gonna put another layer on. Now, and this takes a little bit of practice to make sure that the paint is thin enough. If it's too thick, it's not going to work. Okay. Now this one I want it to be very small. And this is a little bit harder to do. Just a little bit. And now we'll put that aside. All right. So now, where's that paper? Oh my goodness. Now, this dictionary paper, I'm going to just create a little. I need another card for measurement. Oh, it looks like a fishy. Looks like a fishy. That's actually pretty good right there. Okay. I also like that one. All right, so I'm going to use both of these. So what we're going to do, or what I'm going to do, just to show you, I'm going to show you on this for the technique, because it's always nice to have extra stuff. So I'm just going to stamp the trees. So it creates some nice effects. It's not a perfect stamp, because you know nothing I do is perfect, right? It's not a perfect stamp. I want to focus a lot of the texture on the top. Now when you're doing this on paper, it goes right into the paper. But if you do this on something that's got a medium on it, it's not going to stick. So I like doing it on paper first. I need my baby wipe. I like doing it on paper first, that way it gets right into the pores. Okay, so that's that. So now what we could do with these, I'm going to get that cardstock again. What we can do with these is that you can glue the extra pieces. Let's say when you're cleaning a stamp or something, you know, create these little backgrounds, and then you can just add that in. Let's see. You can add that in like that, or take a piece and just add that in like that. So that's just a great way to, you know, create some extra texture if you want. If you want something a little bit more formal and straight, so let's do that. We'll create something a little bit more straight. Like that. Put that face down on my paper towel. And now we can basically cut this to shape. And then you can trim that down, and you'll have something that's straight. I kind of like the roughness of that. The only thing is that when you're using dictionary paper, make sure that the words that are there that you see, oh, I love that, that the words that you see are not inappropriate. I did that once without even knowing. Oh, that was embarrassing. That was embarrassing. Okay, let's take that. I like that. I think I'm going to make that into another card. I'm going to put that up there. Okay. So this one here now. Take that. You know what? I wonder if I could do this. I don't know if that'll work. I'm going to try it. Take a baby wipe. Oh, I think it is working. It'll be subtle. Hopefully the stars aren't going to get smushed. Nah, they got smushed. Ah, it was a nice try. It was a nice try. I love experimenting. I love experimenting. I could do that all day. Just experiment with art. And not even make anything, just experiment with it. Got some little ripples in there. That's kind of cute. Okay, I'm just going to quickly dry that. Now, anytime remember, you're drying something that's got alcohol in it, you want to use less heat and more air, but I only have the heat gun here, so I'm just going to be very careful. That's all I'm going to do. Just to get rid of the excess. Alrighty, now we can stencil that. Where's my brush? Where's my brush? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to, if I can find it. Uh-oh. Where's my, there they are. Oh, right on top of my phone. Get that out of the way. I'm going to do that with J-cloth. Now let's see if I can. Trouble with using the fluid acrylics. They're very fluid, so they always seep underneath the stencil. Always, always, always. You have to be really careful. Yeah, subtle stars. Very subtle stars. Got a little few right there. And you know what? That's enough for me right now. It's just to create something in the background. So now what we're going to do is put the glue the piece together. Put that over there. Yeah, you're dry. So the ticket is going to go here. And I have to do the stamp. Oh, the paper. So I think I'm going to put that there. And then the tree. And then the bird. And then I'm going to use this stencil to create some transparent dots all around. So what I have to do now is I have to just make a mark. Very, very light mark for that. And you know what, while I'm here, no, not going to glue it now. Not going to glue it now. Let me glue that on right now. Let me glue that on now. If I don't glue it on, I'm going to end up changing my mind. So I'm just going to put some matte medium down over the whole piece, and some matte medium down on the back side. And what this is going to do is give me extra time to position it. Now you can choose to paint this if you want. I'm going to go wrap it right around the back. You can choose to paint it or leave it white. I was going to paint it. I think I'm going to leave it white. Oh, I think I was off camera there. Sorry about that. Now very carefully, one swipe of the matte medium. Don't keep going over it, because don't forget the Distress ink is not waterproof. So any extra that you have on there might come up depending on how you stamped your papers. My paper is porous, but a little bit's coming off right there. So just work it quickly. There we go. See? A little bit's coming off. That's why I'm not a fan. That's why I'm not a fan of stuff that's not waterproof, especially stamps. My Stays On stamp though, I think it's dry. So if I wanted to, which I think I was going to, then I changed my mind. Now I'm going to, because it's about contrast. So I'm just going to put that a bit blue, and I'm going to bring it back like that. Just didn't want it to be pure white. There we go. And matte medium again for the ticket. Now we're just assembling it together now. Oh, I forgot to, oh, doesn't matter now. I was going to vintage the edges, but it doesn't matter. There we go. Put that aside. Put that aside. Put that aside. Put that aside. Oh, white. White. Okay, let's not do it with white. Let's do it with the chromatic black. I wanted to add some circles in here. My paper towel core. But I want the circles to be broken. Let me take some with the blue. There we go. Put that aside. And I'm going to glue this together. So what I'm going to do first, give that a sec. Where's oh, so I did another piece just to show you that the actual quote that I put here, I covered this up with liquid glass just to show you, because people are asking with the liquid glass, and it looks like it looks wet. Now you can also do the same thing with using triple thick. The heavy gel medium is a little bit harder because it doesn't level out as well. But the triple thick, it levels out quite nicely. You just have to be careful that your piece you're not going to bend the piece, because this is not flexible. The liquid glass is, this is not. So if I was to do a whole bunch of these ahead of time, and let's say, this I can bend with the liquid glass, the triple thick will actually crack. So this is best suited on heavy surfaces. So, if you wanted to put like a quote on a piece of cardboard or something, then the triple thick would be nice, over the text if it's hard. But if you're going to have something that's like, let's say a journal cover or a page or something, then use the liquid glass. Hopefully that makes sense. And speaking of, where is my quote? Oh, hang on. I must show you. I have it drying. So this one here is the liquid glass, really thick. And this one here is the triple thick. It's not even, this won't be ready for tomorrow, till tomorrow. But I'm going to do a video to show the differences between these two. And so that's just not even an and, that's just that. Okay. What was I going to do now? Holy smokes. Oh, glue this stuff together. I can glue it with the liquid glass. I have to get some more of this. I'm almost out. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. this first. Are you dry? Yeah. With the heavy gel medium. I am all over the place today. Oh my God. I feel like such a scatterbrain today. So all I'm going to do with this now is find some random, oh, like that. All right, so I started filming, and then Mia went absolutely bat crap crazy, barking at something. I have no idea what. So I am editing that part out. You didn't really miss anything. All I was saying was taking the stencil and putting it over here, and taking the heavy gel medium and just applying it in some parts. That's all. Like that. But what I'm going to do with this though is I'm going to now glue this down while it's wet. Just clean that. I really should put my tub of water back. The problem is Chaos likes drinking that water. I don't understand. She's got a full bowl of water around. Yeah, that's going to look really pretty. So I'm just going to get the heavy gel medium inside. You can use a glue gun as well. Again, glue gun, not flexible. It will crack. This will actually dry transparent. Just taking off a bit of the excess. You can use whatever you want. Even if you just go to a magazine or get a printable from, like, say, Graphics Fairy or something, and just cut out a silhouette or something. That's fine. You can just glue it any way you want. This project is just about contrast. And I have to wipe off the excess now because once I put it down there, I won't be able to. So just take your time with this part. It is tedious, it is clunky. There we go. What I'm going to have to do is when it's all assembled, I'm going to have to take wax paper, put it down, and then put a weight on it. And now, so see the nice contrast there? And the reason why I put the bird here, well, first of all, facing inside, because you don't want to put the bird facing this way or out here, because if he's here, he's leaning out towards the exit of the artwork, your eye's going to leave out. Also, putting the ticket here just creates some extra detail to draw the eye to where you want it to go. So now I'm just going to get an idea of how much I have to add under his head. What I may do too is just get it placed and then use some liquid glass to fill it in underneath. There we go. Awesome. That won't take long at all. And now it's because these are wet, the ones that were underneath, if they were hard, then this wouldn't lay flat. But now because these are wet, I can push it down and it looks fine. The last thing that I can do, where is it? I can take a sponge, and I don't have enough left. Take some ultramarine blue. You know what? No, let's use this one here. And just go over the edge. You guys hate it when I do that. I like showing you guys with paint products where you don't have to buy a gazillion things. Very limited colors. Other than these two, which are kind of outside my palette, only because I ran out of phthalo blue. That's the only reason why I'm using those. I could have gone the phthalo blue with the traditions, but I want to try to keep it within the same family because of the consistency. There, just doing that edge, it just finishes it off quite nicely. And I could also, if I want to, just to deepen the corners a little bit. That is one gorgeous color. And I don't have any stamp stuff there, so I'll put a little bit there. I can put a little bit of darkness right here. And a little bit there. Wow, I love that. It doesn't take long for this stuff to get tacky. And let's just fix that little bird there. There we go. Voila. So when these dry, these little dots dry, they're going to be transparent. They're going to look like that. They're going to be transparent. Now, okay, so now we've done it. Thank you very much for watching. But what happens if, okay, so let's say you want to do this. Everybody's got access to paper. Okay, so what do you, dictionary paper, you don't have dictionary paper, old magazine, don't have no magazine, go to graphicsfairy.com. She's got some free printables that you can download, print them off, use that. Don't have a printer? Then you're going to have to find some paper, telephone book, anything, okay? So heavy cardstock, you don't have watercolor paper? Go into your kitchen pantry and find some packaging. Reuse packaging, especially stuff that can't be recycled. So instead of it going into landfill, try to recycle it into art. So you can do that. So let's say some plastic, some type of plastic packaging or something, you can just sand it off a little bit, wrap the paper around it. There you go. You don't have a ticket? Again, just find something on the internet and print it. Graphicsfairy.com has a lot of good stuff like that. This paper mache stick and that, Allison made that for me. So unless you have the same mold, you can go to, again, graphicsfairy.com, or even just do a googly search for silhouette and find something and then just cut it out. You don't have a stamp of the trees? Google tree silhouettes. Paint it by hand. That's even better. You don't have a stencil with these little polka dots? Take a piece of plastic packaging, stuff that would usually go to landfill, take a hole punch and punch a bunch of holes in it. Or take an awl, or you know, one of those, or even a nail. Put it on top of a piece of wood. Take a nail and hammer it to make a hole in the plastic. What else have we got? Don't have the texture, the heavy gel medium. Do the dots with gesso. Anything thick, or take the end of a paintbrush, dip it into paint, and just dot. Like that. Just make some dots. Okay? You can do that. I think I've covered everything. Yep. So there you go. So there's no excuse not to do something with contrast because it is easy. I run into some troubles when I'm trying to explain it in a way that I try to make it easy for you to understand, but I get caught up and then I can't multitask the way I used to. My brain goes this way, my hands go this way. So hopefully this makes sense to you. But if you have any questions, post it in the comments below. Now, if you're watching this from YouTube, please go to our Facebook group. That's where I'm answering all the questions, and also to post pictures. That way, if you have a question, post a picture of what you've done. That way I can comment it directly. And the people in there are so good helping and boosting each other up. Encourage and then to be very encouraging when creating art, especially for beginners. Alrighty, so I'm going to put some wax paper on this for it to dry, and it's ready to go. So hope you enjoyed this, and I look forward to seeing you in the next lesson. Until then, stay inspired.